Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, I'm going to start a new little segment called Remember When. So I'm going to look back at some Yankee players who you may or may not remember and just talk about their time in the uniform. It might be just kind of random players and a player's like, oh yeah, I remember when he was a Yankee, so-and-so like that. So something I started doing. So really got this idea from, during the watching some of the Captain ESPN docuseries. They showed the footage back in 98. Remember the Yankees had that big brawl against the Baltimore Orioles. I believe it might have been Scott Brocious. Someone hit a home run right in front of Tino Martinez, and then Armando Benitez, again, the hard thrower, who again originally came up with the Orioles, drilled Tino right in the back. He was the next batter, drilled him right between the 24, and both benches empty. I mean, if you go back, the video's on YouTube. Just type in like 98 Yankees Orioles brawl, and it was definitely one of the best brawls in Yankees history. I know the Yankees had some fights in the late 70s against some of the Red Sox, but this one was a good one. I mean, it spilled out into the Orioles dugout. Dallas Strawberry clocked somebody. Graham Lloyd was swinging there. It was a really good brawl. So definitely that footage is definitely available on YouTube if you want to check it out. But the reason why it stuck out in my mind, because I remember what Tino after that had to go on the disabled list because, he took a shot. There was 98 miles per hour fastball right to your back. So I remember he was on the DL for about a week or so. And so to take his place, the Yankees had Dale Sveum in there. Now, Dale Sveum, at that point, kind of a veteran player. The Yankees, I think, signed him in the offseason. I don't think he was on. He might have been on the team at the time. Well, I don't know if he was. I don't think. I mean, he was too old probably to be in the minors, so he was kind of the backup first baseman. But hardly ever got some playing time. But once Tino was out, he definitely was the full-time first baseman there for a week or two. So I just remember that whole period there. So that's why it just came into my mind. So it was just with the Yankees that 1 year. It was 98. Now a little background on Dale Sveum again. It always sticks out in my head with Dale Sveum just because, this seemed like anytime I opened up a pack of baseball cards or went through my baseball cards, I always had a Dale Sveum card. And maybe it's just the way he spelled his name. So it's like Sveum. So the V is silent. So maybe it just from that last name Sveum always just stood out in my mind. And then when he became a Yankee in 98, I was like, that's cool. Again, he's never much of an offensive force. And again, when he was with the Yankees, I think it was only 30 games. Hit 155 with no home runs and 3 RBIs. So, that's pretty much Dale Sveum. Now, he actually goes back. He was a rookie. He broke in 1986 with the Milwaukee Brewers. Overall, he played 12 seasons, but it was his 11th season in 98 that he did come to the Yankees. For his entire career, a .236 hitter, nothing special. A switch hitter, though. Mainly first base, and with the Yankees, he played first base against Philly Fatino. But before that, other parts, in his younger days, did play a little shortstop, a little third base. And with the Yankees, he wore number 17, which is kind of funny now because anytime someone new joins the Yankees, they're like 91, 95, like this. So this guy was able to rock 17. So, I guess he just timed right. Now, interesting enough, he was on the 98 team now. That was a championship team. Now, if you look it up, they don't attribute him getting a ring. So I don't know how the Yankees handle that. All right, I know back in 96 when the Yankees had Gerald Williams and Bob Wickman. They traded them early in 96, but, they did technically give them World Series rings because they were with the team for about half a season. So I don't know how that exactly works. It's kind of weird there, but, he was technically on a team for 30 games. I mean, it's not a lot of the season. It's I'll do some quick math here, about 1/5 of the season. So I think he's entitled to a ring. But again, if you look it up, it doesn't really say, it doesn't attribute him to being with the World Championship 98 Yankees. So I'm not sure how that exactly works. But again, he just played one more season after that with the Yankees and retired after 99. Now, he did get into coaching. So from 2001 to 2003, he actually coached the Pittsburgh Pirates AA team. So he was down there for a while and then finally joined Boston to be the bench coach in 2004. And, of course, we all know what happened in 2004. So both 2004 and 2005, Sveum was the Boston bench coach. And, of course, 2004 was when the Yankees had the epic collapse. And Boston won their first World Series in 90 years or whatever like that. So Sveum a part of that. Eventually joined the Brewers. Left Boston, joined the Brewers in 2007. And then promoted in 2008 from the hitting coach to be the manager. And if you remember the 2008 Brewers, that was that team that CC Sabathia was on, where CC Sabathia took that team on his own, got them into the playoffs, pitched his butt off. Now, obviously, they didn't go too far in the playoffs, but that really would put CC on the map. And of course, the Yankees signed CC after the 2008 season. And it was always the concern, because what CC was doing, especially towards September, he was going on 2-3 days rest. And I was concerned about, hey, maybe a little too much wear and tear on CC. Should the Yankees not sign him? Now, the Yankees did sign him, and it turned out to be a good move. Yankees winning the championship in 2009. And CC, of course, had a good 2010 and overall was good for the Yankees. I know he had a little couple of seasons there in the middle bit when he was transitioning that weren't too great, but overall, again, CC turned out to be a solid Yankee. But again, before that, Dale Sveum was technically his manager in '08. And then after the 2011 season, was hired by the Cubs, and he was the Cubs manager for 2 seasons there. So Sveum, again, both as a player, as a coach, he rubbed elbows with some of the best in the business. He played or coached under La Russa, Torre, Jim Leland, Lou Piniella. So again, not shocking that he himself at one point became a manager. So, and he was part of some championships. Again, he was part of the 04 Red Sox championship as a coach, and in 2015 he was with the coach with the Royals. And that, again, if you remember that 2015 team, that was the Royals when they had that little run there, beat the Mets in the World Series that year, 4-1. Again, that was the Matt Harvey game at home where Francona left Harvey in there a little bit too long. Not that the Mets were going to win that series, but nevertheless, Dale Sveum was part of the coaching staff, so he definitely got his rings with the 04 Red Sox and the 2015 Royals, and he ended up leaving the Royals organization after 2019, and so far has been out of baseball. So that's the Dale Sveum story. So up with the Yankees for, again, a little bit in '98. Again, was kind of the solution when Tino was drilled in the back by Armando Benitez. So filled in with the Yankees there a little bit. And then, of course, this bounced around as a coach. Again, part of the 04 Red Sox team that had the 4-game comeback against the Yankees when they were down 3-0 in the ALCS, again, to the heartbreak of many Yankee fans. And again, part of the championship 2015 team. And weirdly enough, he's actually the cousin of former Blue Jay John Olerud. If you remember Olerud, it was a real good hitting machine there in the early 90s. And, of course, later joined the Mets and was actually with the Yankees himself for a cup of coffee. So maybe that'll be another future episode. So that's the Dale Sveum story. So I hope you like this episode. Maybe you want to go through your old baseball cards, look for a Dale Sveum card. I'm sure you have it. We'll catch you next time.